Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show. You may have seen her in Morocco, New York City, Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Nevada. One of the background singers for Mickey Howard and the late, great Gerald Levert. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, the beautiful, the wonderful, the spectacular, Miss Coco McMillan.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show. I am so excited to have you with me today. This is where we make it happen. So, thank you for being a part of the show today. Listen, go ahead and take this time to go ahead and text your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your neighbors, your family. Go ahead and text them and let them know that for the next hour,
Blah, blah, blah.
with Coco McMillan. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and text and tag someone and share this because we're going to have a fabulous show today. So I'm so excited. We have some great guests on the show. Listen, this show is about just promoting you. If you're in entertainment, if you're in social media, if you starting a business, if you're in physical and mental health experts, we want to have you on the show. So please make sure you contact me at cocomcmillan@gmail.com. Again, that's cocomcmillan@gmail.com. I'm so excited. We've been having so many great guests on the show. Last week, it was amazing. We had my friend on here, and he was from the Bahamas, Mr. Mario Steele. We also had Lady Tresenda. It was absolutely amazing. And guess what? We gave away some prizes, and today we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give away something today. So make sure that you stay tuned because we're going to give you something. If you want to be a part of the show, cocomcmillan@gmail.com. You can reach me on my website, through Facebook, Instagram. I'm just excited because I know that this will be a great opportunity for you. I remember in the music industry when I first got started, there was not a lot of opportunities that was open up for us. So I wanted to do something to create a platform for other entertainers just getting started, that's working on their business. I wanted to do something to try to help promote them. And I think this is a great avenue to do that. So please make sure that you contact me as soon as possible so we can get you on that show. June the 7th through the 13th, guys, we got Black Expo USA is back. It is founded by Dr. Eric Kelly. Oh my God, we have some exciting speakers that's going to be on that show. So please make sure you tune in June the 7th through the 13th. Now, June the 10th, we will focus on the Coco McMillan Show. And we're going to have a group of ladies on the show that's going to be phenomenal. The title of that show is going to be called Elite Women of Essence. Is that you? Is that you? Elite Women of Essence. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you come on and just join us and chat with us. Have some fun. The entire week is going to be amazing. So please make sure you reach out to myself, Dr. Eric Kelly, Maxine Phillips. And by the way, next Monday, Memorial Day, May the 31st, I will be on the with Miss Maxine Phillips, the Levis List Strategist Coach. I will actually be on her show on May the 31st. It is going to stream live at 7 p.m. So make sure you check us out, Miss Maxine Phillips. She's amazing, and she's a part of the Black Expo USA. So with all of that said, I'm excited. I'm excited about our guests here today. We have two phenomenal guests, Mr. Gary C. Clemeth and also my girl Sandra Buzzing. But we're going to start off with Mr. Gary just to tell you a little bit about Gary. He's been involved in the music business his entire life and has worked as an independent journalist for 25 years. He got started with a Full Sail Center recording arts. and went on to work in a broadcast television for the Christian Television Network, ABC, ABC Television, and Fox Television. He's also a photographer who had the opportunity to photograph a variety of celebrities, such as Whoopi Goldberg, Richard Pryor, Martin Lawrence, Frank Sinatra, Steve Harvey, and Drew Carey, just to name a few. As a print journalist, he created and wrote the Clementine Review weekly entertainment column, which first appeared in the Danville Register and Bee newspaper for 5 years and was also self-syndicated to the national publication Fresh and You teen magazine. For his column, he had the opportunity to interview and cover performances with such personalities as Beyonce, Jay-Z, Destiny's Child, Usher, CeeLo Green, Salt and Pepper, and many, many more. His current endeavors includes operating as founder, CEO of G2 Network Media, Radio, and Television, and where he continues to build on his exclusive brand and style of creating national entertainment news. Let's bring on my friend, Mr. Gary Clement.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? How
Doing
you
pretty good.
doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
You doing good? So,
Yeah.
Gary, I am so excited to see you and talk to you again. I mean, how long have I been knowing you? It's been like many years,
Wow, it's been a while now. Mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah.
think you've had a chance to do some stuff with me on when I came out with my album
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and you just been there. And what one thing I can say about you, you have been very supportive to me and my career for a very long time, ever since I really got started. And I really appreciate that. I just wanted to tell you. So thank you. When you send me those messages on instant message and everything, you don't understand because some days, as artists, and I'm sure as yourself, we kind of have bad days. And when you send that message and say, good luck to you, or I'm so proud of you, or blah, that means a lot. That means a lot. So thank you. I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So I've read the bio. I've told the viewers so much about you. Why don't you, in your own words, tell us a little bit more about Gary?
Okay. Well, as you know, like I said, I have a new book or whatnot out, and I wish that I actually, would have done it years ago, have written it, years ago or whatnot. But so now, like I said, with this pandemic going on and stuff, I've, had the opportunity to finally get it finished and release the first volume of it. It's entitled The Gary Clement Radio Show, Volume 1, When Strong Afro-American Men and Women Stand Up. And
Oh,
this, like I said, to put this together, I was actually trying to come up with an idea some years ago or whatnot. And one of my publicist friends and stuff out of California, she asked me, had I ever did a radio show? And I said, I really, hadn't really thought about it. And so we tried it and stuff. And I was able to actually put together like 200 episodes and whatnot. And we used
wow.
a couple of online, media outlets in which to kind of distribute it or whatnot. And it did really good. Had an opportunity, like I said, to speak with, quite a few celebrities and stuff, as well as, some politicians and different ones and stuff to put it together. So,
Okay.
so like I said, so in putting this, like I said, after the way that I like to structure my interviews and stuff is ask questions and stuff, not just about a, particular artist's project or whatnot, but I like to also get into, things that make sense, things that make, make us, kind of move as a people.
Right,
And
right,
so,
right.
and so therefore, I came up, like I said, with, questions and stuff to kind of shape around this that, that were geared to education and literacy in,
Okay.
in our communities and whatnot. And it went over pretty well. And I'm, very ecstatic because one of the people I was actually, able to get to sign on and stuff and helping me do this was Beyonce's father,
Mhm.
Matthew Knowles. Yeah,
Okay.
he's one of the featured, contributors and whatnot to this book.
Awesome.
Yeah, and there's also, and I'll give you a rundown of stuff exactly of who's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Professor Matthew Knowles talks about the importance of being an entrepreneur. Then we have Dr. Frank Godfrey, who's actually from Raleigh, and he talked about the importance of having male teachers in the classroom. Jazz pianist and Professor Mark Adams talks about the importance of music education.
Okay.
Musician Ivan Hamden, who used to work, like you said, with Luther Vandross, a ton of different people. And he's also, like I said, out of this area too. And he talks about the importance of and the power and knowledge of music. Then we have Dr. Loretta Long, who used to play the character of Susan on the very popular Sesame Street. She was the original.
Oh, wow.
And she talks about the importance of saving our children in today's world. And Dr. Roma Benjamin, she's out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's talking about reading and technology in the churches in our community. Dr. Marco Clark, he talks about the importance of good teachers and good parenting. And the person that actually did my foreword or whatnot for my book, actually, she's an attorney and stuff out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She's the head of the Johnny Cochran law firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. And her name is Attorney Faye Fox.
Okay.
So
that's amazing.
So it gave me an opportunity to go through, like I said, and take some encouraging words and stuff about, reading, education, and the Black community, and put it all together in one package. That because in our communities we don't have that. We don't have anybody that's putting that positive information and stuff out there.
That's
I guess another thing something that I really want to, focus toward too, actually with, volume 2 of this will be to actually begin working on a reading and literacy tour where we can have, everybody from 2 Chainz to different rappers and stuff to basically come and talk to the kids and just read a book to the kids or give them some encouraging words and stuff about, achieving in life, something more than just them being rappers and stuff.
That's right.
Even to have Fantasia come in and tell her story and stuff about, education and how important it's become and stuff in her life. So
yes,
variety of different things I'm trying to do.
I love that. So, how did you come up with the idea? What gave you the idea to, to put all this together? I know you said you should have done it a long time ago, but what kind of gave you the persuasion to do it?
Well, like I said, when I do my interviews, I don't like to just talk about a particular artist or an entertainer's, work or whatnot. Like I said, I like to get real and, and talk about real life. And so those were the answers and stuff that I was getting, or whatnot, and doing interviews and stuff with a lot of them. They just opened up to me and told me good stuff. And I said, well, I think we could do something with this to take it to another level.
Right. Right. So do you find like with working, like you say, Matthew Knowles and, other people, how is it just like working with them or getting the knowledge and everything for them? How is that connection?
Well, it was very interesting. Matthew, like I said, he's a very, very down to earth, very laid back, nice person. And so he was the one that I was most afraid of to even approach about it. And it was funny because he was the one that was the easiest to get to sign off on. It was just, God works in amazing ways. I really, because I really didn't know that he would jump so quick and stuff on it. And it surprised me. I sent it to him one day and bam, I think 5 hours later, I had a, signed consent in my hand.
That is amazing. And that's normally how it happens. The one you think that's not, but that's the first one to kind of jump on it. So how can people, tune into your show or get the book? How can they do that?
Okay. Well, to get the book, actually, like I said, they can go to Amazon.com and type in the Gary Clement Radio Show, and it'll come right up. I'm actually going back now and working on I guess you could say like a second season and stuff of the actual radio show. And it's funny because I had one of the guys that's actually in charge of senior programming and stuff at BET on the phone a couple of days ago, and so he will probably be one of the first interviews and stuff for the new, for the new season or whatnot. And hopefully you'll be seeing me on BET sometime soon too.
Yes, And I can say, I know him. I know him. But you've always been like really engaged in radio and even photography. So how was that? I mean, you a man of many talents.
Well,
Photography. How did you get into that?
well, photography, like I said, I actually, when I was in Florida, when I went to school and stuff in Florida, I was introduced and stuff to a gentleman by the name of Doc Middleton, who actually handled the tracking with the future stars or whatnot for the Jack the Rapper, show. And a lot of people don't know anything about Jack the Rapper, but Jack the Rapper, like it was a music industry, it was a music industry draw for years and stuff back like say the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. And Jack Gibson, he actually was one of those people and stuff that got the Jackson 5 started. Sly and the Family Stone, you name it, man. Jack was a part of all that. And so being a part of that and stuff, like I said, for a couple of years, that gave me the opportunity, like I said, to go purchase a camera and stuff, and spend my rent money. And
Don't we do that?
It got me evicted. It got me evicted and stuff. But like I said, that camera, taking that camera and stuff, spending that $500 and stuff on the camera actually has done so many things and stuff for me after that, And because everybody came through. I'm talking Prince, everything from Two Live Crew to Heavy D and the Boys, Queen Latifah, NDRE, you name them, they were all there,
Oh my goodness. I know that was amazing.
And this is interesting that we're talking about this because a couple of weeks ago, actually about a month or so ago, I was on the phone and stuff with DJ Wiz from Kid and Play. And so what we're talking about actually doing is actually going back to some of those photos and stuff of Tupac and Bobby Brown and all these people and stuff from years ago. We're talking about putting together a book and stuff to bring back those years and stuff through a book. So.
Wow. Oh, how cool would that be?
That's something we're talking about now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would be so amazing. So let me ask you a quick question about the book. In this book, is it dedicated to any particular person or people?
Well, okay. All right. Back in 2011, my wife and I actually suffered through a house fire. And our daughter, who was actually 7 at the time, she actually ended up passing away due to smoke inhalation or whatnot while inside of the house. And so we have actually dedicated this book or whatnot in her memory, and it's also, and she had mild autism. So we are actually, at some point, we're still talking about putting together a foundation or whatnot so that we can honor her in that respect, as well as possibly, being able to put together something where we can actually donate iPads and stuff to a lot of kids and stuff that need early intervention, early learning or whatnot. We're working trying to figure out how to make that happen and whatnot as well. So we've been talking to Apple about that.
Wow, that is amazing. And I'm so sorry, so sorry to hear about that. But that's amazing how the dedication is to her. And I'm sure that even after this show, people are going to be reaching out to you because this is some good information. What are your other plans for the book? What's your other plan?
Well, like I said again, one of the major plans and stuff actually would be to put together a reading and literacy tour or whatnot, where we can, like I said, have because Matthew already told me, let him know and stuff about being a part of this. And and shoot, if you want to bring Beyonce and Jay-Z and whoever else, that's fine. And having, like I said, having an open dialogue with giving new authors an opportunity to have this put their stuff out, as well as like I said, have a lot of young kids and stuff and their parents and everything to come out and have we'll have readings and stuff by Dr. Loretta Long, as well as other people or whatnot, and to have some actual performances. But it's mostly, I guess you could say, geared to being able to create some excitement in the Afro-American community in regards to reading and literacy. That's the main thing, and
that's the main thing.
Not just about music or entertainment or having football players and basketball players and stuff around, but allowing these people to kind of give back through literacy and reading and whatnot, and help us put that project together. That's what we're trying to do.
Right. That's amazing. You definitely got my support on that. I know you talk about future projects, and I know that you have to go. We're going to, and I'm looking at your setup there with all your equipment, and I thought about you talk about the camera, and I know you're in your office, the camera, the everything that you have that goes to make your projects and things work. You say here that you're working on projects like for the internet books and video projects. You love writing and creating content. How do you see the future with that?
Well, my idea actually, I've got to actually talk with the publicists and stuff next week. And so one thing that I actually want to do is, like I said, again, with this book, we're going to try to push it as far as we possibly can. And I want a show and stuff on Netflix. That's what I want. I want to create Netflix or, something for Netflix or one of the cable outlets and stuff. I want to basically, like I said, put together a 30-minute or, a 30-minute show, possibly some documentaries and stuff for Netflix and some of the different networks.
And you know what? It is so. It will be done. I'm praying that would happen because you're such an amazing guy, and the heart for the people, especially the kids. And I just pray that God would just go ahead and open up those doors for you. We'll start seeing your name when Netflix come out. Says Gary, Gary Clement. So I'm excited. I'm excited because I know that it's about to happen. It is happening for you. And I appreciate you coming on the show, taking time to explain, about the book, about GTube, about everything that you do, because we need that. And it's a great cause that you're doing to help, our future children. So thank you so much, Gary.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much. And so maybe we can have you back. Maybe you could come on during the expo week and, just promote this a little more because I think it's amazing. Look, you never know. Matthew may bring on Blue and, the other kids, the twins, you never know what's going to happen. So I'm just praying for you. And I thank God for you, your creativity, and what you're doing. So God bless you. Thank you so much. I know that you got to run, so we'll try to have you back again. So thank you again, Gary, for being a part of this. You heard it first here from Gary Clement about his book, about the GTube, and about the radio show, about photography, everything that he's doing. Make sure that you connect with him. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Gary, before you leave us?
Well, again, they can go to Amazon.com and type in the Gary Clement Radio Show, and it'll come right up, and they can purchase a book there. There's a Kindle version and a paperback version, so they can buy whichever one they want.
Good. Yes. Thank you. Make sure you go out and purchase the book. Either one. Make sure you go out and purchase. Thank you so much, Gary. Again, God bless you. We're going to be talking to you soon, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Yes, Mr. Gary Clement. Wow, that's amazing. And I think it's so amazing what he's doing, putting together the book and the GTube, for, the artists to give back and talking about literacy. So that's very important. So please make sure you check out Gary Clement. Make sure you support him, go buy the book, and just kind of follow him and see what's going on with him. What's next? You see, he talked about Netflix. You never know. Stay connected to him. My next guest, I met this young lady. Actually, we kind of met through social media, and I just loved her spirit and, what she's doing and, just her ministry. She's so humble. That's what I love about her. And just to tell you a little bit about her, her name is Sandra Budsey. She does have an album that's out, the 3 songs that I've heard, and then you got to make sure you go get it and purchase it. It's We Need Your Presence, You've Been Good to Me, and The Place Where You Are Near. I love those 3 cuts. She's a singer, a songwriter, an author, a mother of 3, a wife for 19 years. She is from Silver, South Carolina, where she brings you the good gospel, soulful music. Her stardom begins at the age of 5. In 2017, she began to pursue her ministry in music. She said that life has been her greatest motivation. Find your purpose, pursue it, and rest, and the rest will flow. I love that. This album is a testimony of God's grace, healing, deliverance, and power. And I would like for her to come on and explain a little bit more about her album and what she's doing. Let's bring on my good friend, Miss Sandra Budsey. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. You look fabulous.
Thank you. So do you.
So I was just reading here about the bio and everything, your songs. We was talking about the album. Tell us, before we get into the albums, tell us, and I know I read the bio, but tell us, who is Sandra Budsey? What's really going on with Sandra? How did she get started? What inspired you to get started in music? Tell us.
Well, like you said, my name is Sandra Busby, and I'm just a simple country girl from Silver, South Carolina. And I'm a mother of 3, wife of 19 years, just the basic things. But as far as the album is concerned, this thing has been brewing in my spirit from childhood. I've tried to get away from it, and God just brings me right back to it. I've just been one of those kids that couldn't do everything that everybody else was doing. I did my thing, but not like everybody else was doing. I got ridiculed a lot about that. But hey, when God has a purpose for you, that's it.
Right. That's it.
For you, and He's going to protect His own. And so I couldn't do everything. So lo and behold, like the bio said, I've been singing since I've been 5 years old in the church, in the choirs, moved from a Baptist coalition to a fire baptized holiness coalition. So that means, those are 2 different genres, but all of it came to me in one. And all of it is poured into my album because it's a mixture of traditional and quartet and stomping and praise and everything that listeners might be looking for. And so I said, God had it all set up. The reason that we moved from one church to the next, because my parents divorced, unfortunately. But to God be the glory. There's glory in everything. Maybe it just wasn't in season, but He seasoned me differently. So if we hadn't left that church, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened, but I began to experience different ministries. I began to walk into prophecies and hear speaking in tongues and watching people just laying in the spirit. And so I saw a difference. And so it's kind of a mixture into my spirit, which pours into my music, because now that I found my Christ, it's not about sounding good. It's not about doing it like this one does it and do the note like that one. It's about lifting my God's name up. And like you said about the humbleness, it is so easy to get a swollen head and all of this.
Okay.
With all these pats on the backs and everything. But I said, God, keep me out of it. Do whatever you got to do to keep me humble, so that when I open up my mouth, all they hear and feel is you. If they look at me and say, good job, I need them to say, good job, but you know what? I needed that. Or I was delivered. Or I felt chills. To those who aren't sure and they're non-believers, they go, I had chills. I mean, what's that? I'm like, that's God's anointing.
That's His anointing.
And so that's my goal. All I want to do as far as this ministry is concerned, because it is a ministry for me. I tell everybody, sure, I want all the glitz and glam too. But if my God doesn't deem it necessary for me, then fine. Because I've been pruned and shuffled and twisted upside down for so long. I've had my butt cut enough. Whatever He says, that's just all to it. That's just all to it. So when I sing a song before a church or anywhere, it's not always about the album. Because I am 100% trying to satisfy my God. So if I get up there and He say no, don't say we need your presence, or the place where you are near. Grab trouble in my way, or grab when I think of the goodness of Jesus. And when I'm obedient, all I want to do is usher His presence. That's enough for me.
Wait, right there. Stop right there. Oh my God, I wish my pastor was on here. So listen, Sandra, how important, you said something prophetic. You said, okay, if you go in, you have your show all set up, and you want to do your song, we need your presence, but the Holy Spirit drop it, because you got to look at your people. You got to see who you singing to. If God drop in your spirit something else, how important is that?
Very important. I must be 100% obedient. in everything that I do, because if it's God's will for me to sing a particular song and I get up there on my own will and do something different, hey, I'm responsible for that. And people get tied up in, but I had to promote my album, and if he gave it to me to do it, then this is what I'm supposed to do. No, ma'am.
Nope.
God's ministry is however, and it's dictated however he says to be dictated. So if at that moment I'm supposed to sing "We Need Your Presence," and I get up there and he says, "No, Sandra, Sheila needs to hear God is able," you open up your mouth and you sing "God is able." I may not know why I'm singing it, but I'm just going to pour my all into it because I have of being disobedient. Allow God to have his way. And if he wants my album to be sold, it'll still sell. And I didn't sing a thing on the album. That's what it's about.
That is exactly what it's about. It's about being obedient. And look, I'm telling you from experience, I've been there where I didn't do what he asked me to do. Girl, you don't want to fall into no hands of no angry God. You don't want to be disobedient. I was like, Lord, please, I'll never do it again.
Glad to get out of that frying pan.
Girl, I was like, oh my God. And I heard it just clearly. But you know what the problem was? The problem was I was worried about what somebody was going to say in the audience, or worried about, well, no, they want me to sing, they want me to do my stuff for my album, and blah blah, what they gonna say, what child. Now I don't care what they say, what they think. When God speaks, I'm doing it, because when you being disobedient, that's what is going to happen. It's going to stay right there. But when God sets something up for you, it is for you. And I say the same thing, Sandra. If he doesn't put me out there on this big, on this big platform with all these celebrities, I don't want that, because even with that, that's problems.
Yeah.
That's problems. Even if I can reach one person, that is my goal, because God has given us something where we need to share to the people. It's not about us.
Right.
And like you said, you needed to sing that song for somebody else, not for you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times your testimony is healing for someone. Tell us about your testimony. I know, like you said, you done been through the fire. I mean, people, and even in music, trying to get started with that, or trying to get the connection, trying to get people to support you, how was that for you? What is the challenge? What was that challenge?
I had a heartbreaking moment. And I've heard the people say, the people of the church sometimes can be your greatest foes. And I've experienced little things within the church, and people in the church are rolling their eyes, etc. But when I got out there and I run into a fellow musician, so to speak, and you give me grief because you think I'm getting a little bit more attention than I should at this pace in my life, and you've been there 20, 30 years to my senior, is that my fault? So why throw dirt at me, or why try to bring me down, or why try to get in the midst of what I'm doing, what God has for me to do, just so you can bring yourself up? Well, I've been there while someone was trying to sabotage what I knew my God already told me belonged to me. God showed himself clearly. And, it was a contest that we were at in order to open up for Leandra Johnson and Karen Clark Sheard. God already told me it was mine, not to be big-headed, too bold, but I knew what he told me, because I almost didn't even audition.
Right.
Have someone blatantly try their best to intervene. Well, what ended up happening is the judges gave it to two winners, because the one she wanted, she tried her best at the last minute. No, pulling on this one right here. That's not what they wanted, and that's not what God put in their heart. And the judges walked up to me afterwards, and he said to me, "You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. For some reason, she kept pulling for this girl. She came to us at the last minute." He said, "But I'm going to tell you, we had you pointed out from the start because of the soulfulness." I got on the stage, and for me, it wasn't just about winning the contest. It was about ministry. And when I got through, there was an atmosphere of worship when I was done. And so I guess the enemy didn't like that. And I was giving, I'm telling you, I was walking off the stage glorifying God. I had just dismissed in my mind what was going on. And, my flesh did rise for a second when I realized what was going on. In the middle of me singing, you go up and begin to talk to the judges. Who does that? So I began to meditate and bless God right then. I said, what you don't know is happening here is, yes, I'm getting caught up in this song, but I'm praising God for what I know he's about to do, for what you're trying to sabotage. And so all I did was take me a different level in my song. I was singing Blessed Assurance a cappella, and I was sitting there saying, yeah, Jesus is mine. And I was just going up into a different realm, exercising what my God was giving me. And when God got through, I told my mom, my husband, my kids, I said, did y'all see what this? He was like, yeah. I said, but guess what? Y'all gonna see God move tonight, because he's already said his mind. He's gonna work. I said, I'm gonna sit back and watch how he's gonna work this thing out. And when it was all said and done, they said, you know what? We decided to have 2 instead.
See?
And I said, look at God. I said, now I wonder where her mentality, when I know the enemy was upset that night, because she did not, and I knew her from before, but like I said, she's to my senior. She's been doing this for a while. What is the problem? And it broke my heart for a bit, because as a believer and as a musician, I'm sitting here thinking we're on the same page. Aren't we of the same fold? Aren't we a part of the same tree? Aren't we just branches together? What is the problem? Well, that's all right, because I shut my mouth. I didn't allow Sandra's mouth to stop. It's like, I know you didn't. Hold up. I said, God, you got to take control, because Sandra's ready to start talking.
Right.
So he completely took control of that entire situation, had his way, was able to open up for Leandra and Karen Clark, and enjoyed myself profoundly. And I was enjoying myself in God, because I just watched him move right before me, right when I needed him. And I never experienced such a thing. I've heard other testimonies, and I've seen long time prayers being answered. But immediately he came to my rescue, because he knew what was going on. I was so I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. But
isn't that terrible? I mean, that is especially in gospel music.
In gospel music,
you're like, why would someone try to sabotage? Because like someone just said in the chat, fair isn't fair. Fair isn't fair. Why would someone try to come and sabotage, what God has given you? You're like, don't they know that God is God? Like, they can't do that. It can't be done. I feel you on this, because it's happened to me so many times, and I think it happens to a lot of artists, especially when you have a calling on your life. Because the enemy is upset, and like you said, the flesh sometimes steps in, because you really want to say what now? What?
That's true.
Lord forgive me, but I'm just being real. Like all your religion is like gone. You're like, what?
Exactly.
But thank God for his grace and mercy, where his just presence, just could fall on you, and just know sometimes it's best not to say anything.
And that was my moment, because that was so not like my character. I would have stopped and said, I would have had to say, Lord, Lord, I'm not, I would say, you don't have to curse somebody out to put them in their place. So I just wanted to just let everybody know what was going on. But the Spirit said, just hold it. I got you. I already told you it's yours. Just hold up. What if I did begin to speak? What if I did begin to say out loud to the audience and to the judges what I really knew what was going on?
Right.
But he told me to keep my mouth shut. If you shut up long enough, you would hear God speak. Just
That's right.
And you would hear him, because he's not going to scream at you. So I just sat back and I told my family, I said, y'all, God is about to do something profound. I don't know how he's going to do it, but let's sit back and wait.
Oh my goodness.
And the judges were honest enough to tell me what was going on. So
wow, that's an amazing testimony. And I know that it's so many people out there, like us, that have the same thing. And a lot of times people give up. Mm-hmm. People give up because they see that happening, or like you said, trying to sabotage. They give up and they don't pursue their music or their ministry anymore, because they've been hurt, or especially church hurt, or, things like that. So how would you encourage someone that has been through that and that's been church hurt or just hurt by someone that, like you said, I can't believe it? How would you encourage them?
Like I encourage myself. I do what I do because I feel like it's my purpose, is what my God gave me. And the same way I'm going to take care and love my children regardless. There's not a piece of paper that divides us. My husband and I, we can sign a piece of paper and that's it. But my children are mine beyond the grave. So if you know that God has given you a calling or a gift or an anointing, or however you want to label it, then nobody should slow you down, because he's going to prepare the way. If he gives you a job, he's going to give you the tools. He's going to give you the training and the on-job training that you need. And so we all know that sometimes when you're training for a job, it gets shaky. You don't know what's going on. You want to, I probably shouldn't have filled out this application. The supervisor's looking at you crazy, like maybe we shouldn't have hired her. But you keep going, and finally it catches. Well, that's the same thing with this music that I've learned. I will not. I've gotten a little incomplacent. And I've told my husband one day, I was like, God, it's just so much. I'm just so sick of this. He was like, no, you said God gave it to you, in the story. And I couldn't debate that with him, because I know that's what I told him. I gotta watch myself and watch the words that come out of my mouth, because the enemy hears it. So I refuse to let anybody throw any kind of shade. You cannot. Okay, don't put me on your program. Don't buy my CDs. It's not for you anyway. Because who God has to have it, they're gonna have it. Wherever I'm supposed to perform, I'm gonna perform. So hey, if you don't like me, love you anyway, I'm moving on. So be encouraged to be living your strength and to know that God has your back. And if he has your back, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Let him talk. Because the more they talk, it only builds you anyway. And I always say, I heard someone ask Janet Jackson years ago what inspires her the most. And she said she's been through a lot of pain. And I said, you know what? My testimonies, all of me is wrapped up into my music, because I've been through not a bunch of physical pain, but I've suffered a lot of emotional loss and pain and stress and disloyalty and etc. And so I can look back and know where I've come from.
Yes.
And see what God has done for me and see what God has planned for me. And hey, when I open up my mouth, you better be ready, because I'm not up there to play. I don't care where I am. The funerals, people like to sing a funeral song that they think is going to make the family cry. If you're crying, I want you elevating and worshiping God when I'm done. I don't want you crying. Yeah, you're mourning because of your loved one. But I want you to listen to the words of this song. I don't even look for a little kumbaya to make somebody cry. I want you to be worshiping my God, because I always tell them, whoever, even if it's my family, God did not ask us to be understanders, but believers. And in all things, he is to be worshiped. So that's my call. Worship him anyway. Even though your heart's broken, even when you don't understand it, you worship him anyway. So I'm not going to sit up there and sing something, moan and groan. I want you to worship my God.
Girl, you're part of my family. You sound just like my family. You are so right. Oh my goodness. And it's so good to hear you say that and just confirm it, because it's like when I get up and I sing, it's not a performance for me. It's like I need for them to feel what I felt, because I've been through, like you said, we've been through the storm, been through the rain. So when I sing, it ain't for show. It's not for whatever. It's like the Lord is working on me. And a lot of times, even with the songs, it's encouraging myself, because I need to be lifted.
Exactly.
You understand? And exactly. I'm like, God, wait now. I don't need to be up here crying and carrying on. He's like, no. Yes, you do. Because it's authentic. It's, the power that lives in ministry, in song, because you never know how it affects someone, how they could be delivered. Like I said, by your testimony. Exactly. Like it's so like we need this now. We need true believers, Sandra. We need true worship. What do you feel about worship?
I feel like it's 100% necessary. We get greedy sometimes, and God, I want, God, I do this, God, I can't, God, want I, and all we're doing is begging. But we forget to sit there and just, Sugar it up, sweeten them up, and
Yeah.
tell God how wonderful He is. Let Him know where your heart is and how much you adore Him and what you want to do, and that you acknowledge that He, first of all, is God alone.
Woo!
So I believe that there should be a worship always and in all things. And I know sometimes it's easier said than done. I've been there wondering why not even pray about it, and this still happened. We're human.
Right.
That's why it's good for you to keep a connection with God, because you know His heart and He knows your heart, most importantly. So, sometimes we say things out of pain because we don't understand. We're human, but God knows your heart. So that's why you stay in a consistent worship, so you can keep yourself strength. And even when the time comes, and you just got to encourage yourself, because sometimes there's nothing anybody else can say. You got to pat your own self on the back. You're alone. You got to remind yourself, I got to pat myself, because husband can't always do it. Mama, daddy, my parents, and husband even don't know everything that I go through. Sometimes I have to encourage myself, because in my encouraging myself, I can encourage somebody else. And when I get out there and have to sing myself free, that's a different song right there.
That's a different song.
I had to sing myself free. So sometimes the ministry isn't always for the next person. Sometimes it's for you.
And like you say, encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to tell yourself, yes, Jesus loves me.
Oh, yes, Jesus, He loves me.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Jesus loves me. For the Bible tells me so.
Yes, you have to encourage. You have to tell them. Yes, because if nobody else does, know that Jesus loves you, and that's all you need. Because he'll make a way. He'll make a way if you listen to Him, walk in His presence, obey Him. That's why I love. I think one of your song titles was "We Need Your Presence." Yes. We need His presence every day, every minute, every hour. When we look the other way and feel like we got it going on and don't need God, look, I wish I had a rope. He'll pull you right.
Yes, He will. He will wheel you right in. I know He does. I was just having a conversation with my friend the other day. I said, honey, perhaps this is your thorn in your side. We all have one. And she said, you know what? You might be right, because that's when you find yourself praying the most and seeking God the most, and it keeps coming. I always say you got to understand your reason for your season, and if you don't understand the reason for your season, you're just going to be repeating the same pattern, not going anywhere. But when He's talking to you, or He just wants to pat you on your shoulder and say, come here for a second. I haven't heard from you in a while. You got your car and you washing your car and you hadn't been to church in a couple of Sundays. Let me talk to you for a minute. You went to work Monday, but you retired Sunday, and come here, let me talk to you for a second. It's been a while. And sometimes we're a little hard headed, and He has to do a little extra.
That's right.
Do a little child acting up, husband acting up, wife acting up, light bill higher than expected.
And you're right. You said it. Those are the things. I don't think people realize that or understand. Those are the things that will happen, and they're trying to figure out, well, why is this happening? Why? Because of whatever that you did or that you didn't do. Exactly. He has a way to come in to try to not paying your tithes. Okay, don't pay your tithes this week. Watch what happens next week. Your car's going out.
All your tires go out. The tires go out, the child is over the huge dentist bill, the car broke down.
Something. And listen, y'all out there listen to this. You see us laughing and carrying on, but it's for real. Pay your tithes.
You just took one car to shop, and here next week something's wrong with that one.
Right. And you try to figure out why. Like, okay. I mean, and sometimes they don't get it, but when you in it and you've been in it for a while, like my grandmother, my pastor, I have all these people around me, that teaches me, teach me things and study. And so when you've been in it for a while, you know that's what's happening. And when you're not paying your tithes, or and I'm not saying that, when you pay your tithes, you're going to get something back monetary. It could be any, it don't have to be monetary. But the important thing, it says in the word to pay, bring all your tithes into the storehouse. And so why you go take a trip to Vegas? First of all, Vegas, number one. And you ain't paid. Oh, come on now.
You ain't paid your tithe. You saved your tithe. You deserve a vacation. I deserve a vacation. I'll pay the church later. See, my thing is always, who do I want to owe? I want to owe God, or do I want to owe you? So if the word says for me to do it, and I decide, he understand. I catch up. God is not a man. He can't be mocked. He's not stupid. He's not a sugar daddy. He's not the light switch that you flip on and flip off.
The light switch. I like that one.
Light switch. No, he's not your sugar daddy that's there just to give you whatever you want when you want it, and just hopping on your word. We don't understand it, but we're actually on his word. We're on his terms. He's just merciful and loving enough to give us some of these things that we want, provide our needs, and give us some of these things that we want. And we take it for granted like he has to do it. What does he have to do? I tell my kids all the time, I didn't have to keep y'all. I don't have to take care of y'all. My little one goes, what you mean? Well, mama, I could have had you and left you there, could have adopted you out, or I can still take you down to some place public now where they can see you according to Moses' law and drop you off and keep going. So I don't have to do a thing. It's my love that keeps you with me. It's my love that makes sure that you're taken care of. So God does not have to do a thing. It's his love and his grace that abides to keep us, and we take him for granted. He doesn't. He's a merciful God. I'm so glad God is a forgiving God, and you do the same thing over and over. You're mocking him. It's not a stronghold. It's a decision.
Ooh.
It's a decision, and people irritate me when they make it seem like I made a mistake. It wasn't a mistake because you chose. If you're not supposed to drink, you're not supposed to smoke, and you're fornicating or whatever the deal is, you go over to the old girl house Saturday night. You know what's up. Why are you over there by yourself? Don't give me this accident stuff. And I'm glad God is a forgiving God. Then why put yourself in that predicament? He said, "With temptation is great, I provide an escape." That comes with everything: your temper, your sexuality, everything you can think of. If you know you're a firecracker, and that girl or that guy gets you to that point, separate yourself.
Exactly.
Separate yourself.
Separate. Why would you get yourself in that predicament? And I thought about, when you said that, I thought about, we had Shirley Murlock was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about the song "As We Lay." And it's something, she was like, well, listen, I don't want to do that song. I'm a church girl. I'm a church girl. So anyway, she ended up doing the song, but she said, I'm going to write this piece into it. The bridge when it says, you should have counted up the cost.
Yeah,
but instead you got lost in a second, in a minute, an hour. So she was basically saying, now you going over there, as we lay, we doing all this stuff, but no, it's a price that you have to pay, because it's a decision that you are making.
It's a decision. It's not an accident. Accidents aren't done on purpose. That's why they're called accidents. But when you it's not that it was an accident because you got caught. It's not that it's an accident because the person found out that you lied to them or that you stole from them, and now it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. You did it on purpose. You chose. And so God knows that we're choosing, because he gives us free will. You're choosing to remain in the company of these type of people that irritate you, to make you cuss them out. You're choosing to be in this atmosphere of these people. Even in the church, we have some people. I've had to sever my left arm for certain church members because they made it so obvious and it was ridiculous. Even the pastor picked up on it. He said, I see it. I was like, I told him this Sunday, I said, listen, I don't mean any harm. But can you stop calling on me just to call me out to ask me to do a song? I said, because it's not. He said, no, I see it. That's why I call you. He said, because it's the enemy. God has given you a promise. He said, I will not. I refuse. He said, the Lord tells me to ask you to sing. I refuse not to do it because the enemy wants to step up. He said, that's why the enemy is bothered, because you're doing the will of God. He said, I refuse. And I was like, okay, but does this cause tension in the church? Then I went to another service. And this guy was ministering in the middle of his sermon. He didn't know anything. I was in another church. He stopped and said, woman of God, minister of music. And I looked at him like, what?
Wow.
He said, God says, when you sit there with your mouth shut and legs crossed and say, I'm just not going to sing it, I'm doing this in my terms, my way, because you think about what folks are going to say, he said, you're being disobedient.
That's right.
You're thinking, I'm looking at him like, I'm trying to keep the peace. I don't feel like having to hurt nobody's feelings over a song. And he's like, no, you're being disobedient. Because because God gave you a ministry. And anytime you allow someone to interrupt that, that's on you. You are being disobedient. And he came up to me and pointed at me, and I'm looking at him like, you don't even know me like that. But I was convicting in my spirit to glorify God, because I knew what I was going through. I knew what I just told the other pastor. I knew what was going on, and I knew it was God saying, you better obey, you better behave. You've been there and done that. I didn't send you out there to please your naysayers. I sent you out there on my journey, my ministry. You should have been talking about what somebody might say. You better be concerned about what I say.
That's
and
right.
That, Coco, that was it for me. Roll your eyes. I've had people get up and walk out. When I start singing, I don't care. I'm going to sing all the more. Make sure you hear me outside the church too. Because that, all it does is make me do a little bit more, Okay. That just lets me know that I'm doing my job. You don't want to You don't want to sing Cassandra singing. Sandra saying, oh, time to go to the bathroom, get up and walk clear out the church. Whatever. I'm going to sing even more. So that's between you and your God. I will not sit down because my feelings are now hurt because you don't want to hear me. Okay, move on. Next person does.
Right.
So it's it.
I love it. I love it. I love your spirit. Listen, tell us, because we are running out of time, but tell us how they can find your music.
You can find the entire project, We Need Your Presence, on Amazon.com. You can find my 3 singles, We Need Your Presence, You've Been Good to Me, and The Place Where You Are Near, on all digital outlets. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have little snippets of my singing some of my music, Coco, and a lot of other stuff. So I'm just telling you, let you know I'm being straight up with you, and I say it's not always about me. You on my YouTube channel, you hear more of other things than you will of mine. That's just it, because that's where I am.
That's where it is. I love it. I love it. You have been so amazing, Sandra. I mean, ever since we was talking on Facebook, instant message and everything, I just loved your spirit and your connection. And I wish the best for you.
Thank you.
Your kids, your husband, your family. When I come to South Carolina, I'm gonna have to come to that area and stop by to see you, because I love your spirit. Love your spirit.
Thank you. Same here.
So thank you again for being a part of the show. Continue to pray for the show. We'll continue to pray for you and your ministry, and just whatever you need. Just also, make sure you reach out to me, because I'm here for you. So thank you again. Make sure you guys go check out Sandra Buzzy. Thank you, Sandra, for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Absolutely fabulous. Sandra Buzzy. I love her spirit. I love her just her whole thing. She reminds me so much of my family. She reminds me of my family. So make sure that you check her out on her YouTube page, Facebook. Her information is at the bottom of the screen. Also, thank you to Gary Clemens for coming on to sharing his information with us. So make sure you go out and support him. The radio show, G-Tube Radio. Hey, listen, I couldn't do this without 2 special people, Mr. Mark Lee and Dr. Eric Kelly. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity of having the show. Thank you for the technical work that you do behind the scenes. And thanks for all your encouragement words to me. So next week, make sure that you tune in. We're going to have some fabulous guests on the show, and check me out on Monday, May the 31st, with Maxine Phillips. Going to be doing that at 7 p.m. And listen, if you haven't heard it today, I want to let you know that I love you and God loves you too. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all thy ways, and he will direct your paths. God is a great God. All you have to do is ask, and it shall be given. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching the Coco McMillan Show. Be blessed.